All of them.
Do you?
Follow God, lights, all of them, yeah.
Right, interesting. See, we're learning a lot about you, you know.
What do you mean?
Well, do you know, I found you, do you know, you have a new love?
Well, we said we wouldn't discuss our personal lives on the programme. We wouldn't get
I know,
too
but I
deep.
kind of flagged it up now, so I just spit the dummy. So there's somebody new in your life, and I found out on the grapevine,
This is
Betty.
true. Betty, yes. Oh,
Tell-
my beautiful Betty.
Betty, now tell us, when did you meet Betty?
Well, I kind of been... Me and Betty have been kind of on off for a while.
Right.
And then last week, she
Right.
came for a visit and she stuck around.
Right, and right, so you're opening up now a wee bit. So
Yeah, well, that's
so when did it get serious
It's
for
about
you? Then?
honesty. It's from
Was it
day
love at
one.
first sight, or what was it? Or?
Oh, love. After about 40 minutes, I was in love.
Right.
Yeah.
Who made the first move?
Well, that's a controversial.
Go
one.
on, tell us now. You go on.
I'll answer any questions you have, Coach.
How would you describe her personality then? Because I would say
Thorough.
like
I'd say she's very thorough. You know, very thorough. If she starts something, she finishes it. Do you know that sort of way? Do you ever get people in your life like that? Yeah.
she sounds high maintenance to me. Is she high maintenance?
No. She's actually really quite low maintenance. A lot of self maintenance, actually.
Right.
Which I think is very important in a
And we're like,
relationship because
do
you
you
have to look after yourself before you can look after somebody else.
Right, you're getting ready. I'm sorry, I asked you all these questions now. And does she fit into your routine and stuff like that?
Well, she has her own routine, to be honest with you. I mean, I had to set her a wee routine, but she sticks to it herself.
And does she work?
Oh, flat out. She's flat
Does
out.
she?
Yeah.
Does she work nighttime or daytime,
Right.
or what does she do?
Well, she used to work.
Shifts?
She used to work during the night, but she was keeping everyone up. But
I would say she bumps into things, does she?
no, she
No?
doesn't. No,
She doesn't bump into
no,
things.
she does not.
Oh my God almighty. I say she drives you mad, goes around in circles and stuff.
No, she's too clever for that.
Is she?
I know some of her relations would be like that, but
Does
this
she
one-
have any sisters?
Yes, she has.
Has she?
Yes.
Aye. Right. Tell us more about Betty.
Betty's a robot vacuum cleaner.
You're in good crack. Is that what Betty is?
Betty's a wee robot
Oh,
vacuum
come
cleaner.
on.
She's
So how long's this going on, this
It's been
relationship?
going on for a week, but I mean,
And
she's just
honeymoon period going good?
Oh, fantastic! It's
Lovely.
the longer she's about, the more I fall in love with her.
I would say once she goes out the door, she goes back to her wee. She has a wee snack.
She has a wee.
Snooze.
She got a little place that she goes back. She pulls out. Right.
Yeah.
I've never seen one of these in action. She pulls out of this little garage she has, cleans and mops the whole house. Doesn't bump into anything.
Wow.
Into every room, and then she goes, cleaning finished. And then
She doesn't say talk to you as well, does
yes,
she?
Yes. And then she just trots back, parks herself. It sucks the dirt out of her,
Wow.
and she recharges, ready to go whenever you want.
Now they've been out for years, but I would say they're really fine tuned now, are they?
It's astonishing. It's astonishing.
You could
like-
probably just set it up on your phone to get her cleaning again, could you?
Oh, I could. You name a room, I can go and get it. She'll go and clean it now
Wow.
from here. Oh, it's amazing.
God, it's
I had a
good
wee
job.
voucher from Amazon. You see, so
Right, okay.
I
You put it to good use.
You know, I've talked about these EasyViz cameras that I have before in the program. It's also an EasyViz.
What?
and
No,
it's also-
what's an EasyViz
It's just
camera?
a brand,
Right,
It's
okay.
like it's a brand of camera, and it's
Right.
also in the same ecosystem.
Right.
So it wasn't bad.
All
and
tech.
it really cleans.
Why did you call her
Now, I
Betty?
wouldn't do you. Well, what else are you going to call her? Or he.
Well,
Or he.
say now. Caroline says there's no he.
Or
is it?
he.
No, you can't call him. No.
But what was I going to say to you was the technology is astonishing. It really it maps the house out. In
Well, it makes your job easier in the morning.
But it doesn't. What it is, it's a maintenance thing, right? So you still are going to have to do your
The big one, maybe at the
big one.
weekend or something.
Exactly, yeah.
It's just keeping things ticking
But you
along.
come down in the morning, right? There's a lovely sheen off the floors. The carpets are all fluffed up.
But do you not hear it lying in bed think, oh,
Yeah,
where's
but I'm gonna.
Betty
Yes,
again?
she started this morning at 6. She's an early riser, 6:30. So I'm gonna have to
Put it on 20 minutes.
you
You know when you get the alarm set, you could have it like, do you know, it goes off at the same time as your alarm.
me, yeah, but I'm not the only person there.
Oh, right, okay.
Do you get me?
I'm with you.
I don't mind Betty because
No.
I have white noise on anyway. But
Yeah, I'm okay.
anyway, that's her.
Good luck with Betty.
Thank you. Do you know what?
You feel better for telling
I'm
me?
just glad to have got that relationship off my chest.
Well, sometimes we have to go deep.
yeah.
Do you know?
Now it's your turn to show and tell tomorrow.
Right. Oh, she won't tell. Right. Okay. Good luck.
And bring your bank statements. I'm going deep.
Oh, you can.
All right, 9:01. Let's get a news update. It's over to Ryan Brawley.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Capital funding of over €230,000 has been approved for College Bridge in Ranafast. This has been announced by Minister for the Gaeltacht Dara Calleary, which will be used to carry out essential renovation and fire safety work. With more, here's Tara Duggan.
This funding's been sanctioned under the Community and Language Supports Programme and will contribute up to 50% of the approved project cost. The programme supports Gaeltacht communities in developing and upgrading community and language facilities. A contractor has been formally awarded the project, with commencement anticipated within the next month. Speaking following the announcement, Pat the Cope Gallagher said the planned renovation and fire safety improvements will ensure that the college continues to provide a safe, modern and welcoming environment for students from across the country.
Bureaucracy is more of an issue for farmers than input costs, according to a new report. IFAC's Irish Farm Report 2026 found 48% of farmers say regulations are their biggest concern, with 44% saying it's prices. Overall, 61% of respondents say they are positive for the future of farming, despite numerous challenges. Deputy Padraig McLaughlin has accused Uisce Éireann of displaying a culture of arrogance due to its communication model with public representatives. In a meeting of the Dáil, he said every other public service has systems in place to allow public representatives to make contact with senior personnel in instances where pressing issues or questions arise, whereas in the case of water, they rely on emails, often waiting days for a response. America's peace envoy says talks to end the war in Ukraine are now at the end. It comes as Donald Trump meets Volodymyr Zelensky later today. Steve Witkoff confirmed he'll travel to Russia tonight after meeting also Ukrainian officials at the World Economic Forum in Davos. He says there has been a lot of progress.
And I think we've got it down to one issue, and we have discussed iterations of that issue, and that means it's solvable. So if both sides want to solve this, we're going to get it solved.
And the weather mostly cloudy and misty with outbreaks of rain, turning heavy at times. Highest temperatures of 7 to 9 degrees in light to moderate southeasterly winds. That's all from the newsroom for now. We'll be back with a full news update again at 10 o'clock.
Over 60 years ago, the credit union was created not for profit, but for better reasons. For living, for homes, for futures. The credit union, for you. Not profit. Credit unions in the Republic of Ireland are regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
The Talk of the Northwest, the Greg Hughes Show on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning, 4 minutes past 9, Thursday the 22nd of January 2026. You're very welcome along to the Greg Hughes Show here on Highland Radio. It's great to have you on board. We've got a packed 2 hours for you, loads coming up on the show. And we want you involved in the conversation throughout. We have our WhatsApp and text lines open to you right now. 086 60 25,000. That is the WhatsApp and the text line. Feel free to use those lines, by the way, if you're listening to the podcast or the overnight repeat. We want you involved in the convo too. It doesn't have to be just when we're live. If you want to call us, we love taking your calls as well. It's a great way to stay in touch. Not everyone texts, and that's why the calling option is there for you, so you can have your say, share your stories. 074 91 25,000. And some of you like emails too. We love them. Comments at highlandradio.com. Don't forget to watch the show if it suits you to do so. You can do so now live or watch back later. If you're at home, get us up on your smart TV or your Fire Stick. We're on the YouTube app, Highland Radio Ireland, across Facebook and on the X platform as well. Mercosur dominating the locals and the nationals. It's been put on ice, and you do wonder if it's ever going to get over the line. MEPs meeting in Brussels on Wednesday morning voted to refer the Mercosur deal to the European Court of Justice in a closed ballot. That's on the front of the Tyrconnell Tribune. I'll get to that in the Nationals as well a little later on. But interesting, John McAteer and the team have broken down how many in Donegal may be liable for carers' tax. And reading on here, in what is a huge shock to the lives of many families, carers, more than 34,000 across the country, are being hit with tax bills after Revenue got access to data on their payments. It's estimated that around 3,500 carers in Donegal are deemed eligible for tax. And we're still trying to ascertain, how many carers are taxpayers and how lenient Revenue will be in terms of back tax. We still haven't great clarity in relation to that. The Donegal News reports that a pregnant woman is told of her frustration after she missed a scan appointment in Letterkenny University Hospital because there were no available car parking spaces. The woman who did not wish to be named, had an appointment for her first trimester screening and blood tests in recent days. However, despite leaving her home in plenty of time to make the car journey to LUH for the morning appointment, when she arrived at the hospital, she found there were no parking spaces. And by the time she got parked, the woman told of how she missed her original appointment slot by only a matter of minutes and had to endure a 2-hour wait. The Derry News reports that a Derry man has been sentenced for putting father's body in a fridge, or fridges. We reported on this yesterday, of course. A 56-year-old man who admitted preventing the lawful burial of his 86-year-old father, who died in his family home in July 2024, has been jailed for 3 years at Derry Crown Court. We'll start with the Farmers Journal because they've been very active on the Mercosur deal in all matters relating to farming, of course, and the clarification of the ratification of the EU-Mercosur trade deal could be delayed for up to 2 years following a vote by European Parliament on Wednesday. MEPs voted to refer the Mercosur trade deal to the European Court of Justice for an opinion, a move which delays the deal coming into effect. The result of the tight vote, with 334 MEPs in favour of the motion, 324 against and in abstentions, and 11 abstentions, was welcomed by farm organisations in the EU. IFA President Francis Gorman said that the decision was the right one, adding that MEPs had been lobbied morning, noon and night, and that had worked. The farming lobby is a very powerful lobby, and we've seen that. You know, what other area of work or what have you would mobilise and find themselves blocking up the streets of Brussels? Only the farmers, really, I can think of. But there are those who think this is terrible news, that this is going to stifle growth in the Irish economy. The Mercosur deal was not just about meat, of course, it was about exports, and we would have benefited greatly with boosted exports, we're told. Tariffs on certain products being eliminated, opening up new markets in South America. And we will probably hear some of those views on the show a little later on. Well, Taco Trump is what they call him. Trump always chickens out. That's what TACO stands for. And he does, and he's done it again. He's done a full U-turn on his wish to take over Greenland in its entirety. That being said, people who want to detract from him call him Taco, but he's got what he wanted. So what he does is, it's like borrowing money of someone. You say, can I borrow 100 quid? But you only want to borrow 20, right? So can I borrow 100 quid? And they go, I don't have 100 quid. No, I'd love to help you out. All right, can I have 20? And you go, all right, there's 20. That's what Trump does, really, in terms of his negotiations. US President Donald Trump has dropped his threat to impose tariffs on several European countries over their stance on Greenland, saying he'd reached a deal with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, we know them as NATO, on the island's future. Based upon this understanding, I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February 1st. So he's not getting Greenland, but what he is doing, he's getting the ability to locate equipment there in conjunction with Denmark. Also, certain areas will be sort of sovereign US land within Greenland. And also he's going to have access to rare minerals. Some of that he could have had anyway, but he will see that as a victory, and I suppose that is what it is. In the Irish Daily Mail this morning, a judge refused to use a new name chosen by a transgender teenager, and in a separate case stated another male-identified teen was biologically a girl, a new report has revealed. The comments were made during two cases in the Dublin District Court last year, where the judge considered plans for the aftercare of teenagers due to age out of the care system as they turned 18. The cases were reported on and published this week by the Child Law Project, which attends child protection cases in the family courts, which are not open to the public. In the first case, a social worker described how one of the children was gender transitioning from a girl to a boy, now going by a boy's name. Well, the social worker spoke of how the child was experiencing gender dysmorphia and was refusing to go to school. The court heard that the child was enrolled in a boys' school. The child was undergoing therapeutic interventions at Treehouse, a trauma-focused therapeutical service for children and was really benefiting from that intervention, the social worker said. But the judge insisted that the child be referred to by their original female forename. He read from a psychologist's report before the court. In her report, the psychologist rejected the ideological label of transgender children identification. So it's an interesting case there, which is highlighted in most of the papers. Yesterday, it was revealed that a total of 25 foreign sex offenders have been booted out of Ireland in the last year. This is in the Irish Daily Mirror. Figures released on Wednesday by the Department of Justice show that Gardaí have tracked down and expelled the rapists and abusers since the special operation was set up last year. Code-named Moonridge, it was set up by Garda bosses last year to identify foreigners living here who have been convicted of sex crimes. Two questions I'd be interested in relation to this. How complete is the database that they might have on potential people with, sex crimes background? How robust is the information they have in relation to this? And if 25 foreign sex offenders have been booted out of Ireland, how many remain? Those are questions I think it would be interesting to find out if they do have a number, right? So if they know, well, there's another 75, let's just say hypothetically, would we not need to know that? The same way you'd hope that if it were, sex offenders living and born here, you'd hope to know. Well, the operations sees detectives from the Garda National Immigration Bureau identifying and finding offenders who will then be either deported or, if they are European Union nationals, hit with so-called EU removal orders. So 25, is that the majority? Is that the thin end of the wedge? I don't know. Let me see here now. I've lost where I was at with these papers. That's my fault. On to the Irish Independent now. And this is a story from the United States. A Florida mother who gave birth last month is suing an IVF clinic as the baby she gave birth to has no genetic relationship to either parent, according to a lawsuit. The Fertility Center of Orlando was named in the lawsuit as a defendant. The lawsuit claims that the couple, noted as John and Jane Doe in the filing, began using the centre's services in March 2025. The woman had an embryo implanted that she believed contained both the plaintiff's DNA. In early December, the woman gave birth to a beautiful, healthy female child, the lawsuit states. The baby known as Baby Doe, in court documents appeared to be a different race, however. While both Jane Doe and John Doe are racially Caucasian, i.e. white, Baby Doe displayed the physical appearance of a racially non-white child, the lawsuit states. Which is a very, very tricky situation, isn't it? What might you do in that situation? Maybe you don't even want to think about it, right? So they went down the IVF route. They believed that the man's DNA, shall we say, was injected into the woman's DNA, and that was then implanted into her. She carried the child for 9 months, gave birth, and as it turns out, not only is it not genetically related to them, but it's actually of a different race. So what would you do in that situation? Because I presume the maternal bond is there, right? Are they going to keep the child and seek damages? Or what might you do in that situation? It's like something out of a film, and I care not to think too much about things like that because they seem so unlikely to happen. But in that case, it did happen. And lastly, €4.2 million of your money is pocket money for prisoners. Inmates received €4.2 million in pocket money last year, courtesy of you, the taxpayer. An additional $583,000 was doled out to lags last year. I don't know why they use this English language, but anyway, maybe it's Irish too. Last year compared to 2024, while the amount of cash gifts received by prisoners from friends and family on the outside surged to over 8.4 million. Well, that's fine if they want to get money off family and friends. The boon has seen inmates, I don't know what a boon is, has seen inmates' prison bank balances more than double during the past 12 months, from 1.5 million to 3.2 million, according to records obtained under the Freedom of Information. All right, okay. Just to let you know before a break, there is a car broken down on the inbound right-hand lane of the dual carriageway into Letterkenny outside Kelly's Toyota Garage, causing a long tailback. So I think you're going to have a little bit of patience in that area.
The Greg Hughes Show on Highland Radio. Text WhatsApp 086 60 25,000. Call 074 91 25,000 or email comments at highlandradio.com.
Newspapers are kindly supplied by Cosgrove Centra, Mountaintop Letterkenny. Now with the new look Mountaintop Diner.
Highland Radio Hospitality Awards 2026. It's time to shine a light on the places that make nights out, weekends away and great food so special. If there's a hotel, restaurant, bar, cafe or tourism business you love, now's your chance to say thank you. Nominate them for the Highland Radio Hospitality Awards at highlandradio.com. It only takes a minute, but it means a lot. Nominations close Friday the 23rd of January. If you're considering making some changes in your home, visit the big January sale now on in McGinley's Furniture Letterkenny. There's great reductions in every department, with big savings on suites, beds, mattresses, living room and dining room furniture. Also on occasional furniture, including lamps, pictures and mirrors. That's all in the big January sale, now on at McGinley's Furniture, Portlink Business Park, Port Road, Letterkenny. See mcginleysfurniture.com.
Here, would you look at Eco Enda? He's only after going and getting himself one of the new Skoda EVs.
First he went vegan, then he got solar panels, now this.
Yeah, sure, he'd buy anything as long as he can get a grant for it.
Must be from that county beside Monaghan.
The new fully electric Skoda range. The kind of cars that get the neighbours talking. But only if you're quick. Check availability at skoda.ie. Skoda, let's explore.
Skoda. Your local Skoda dealer is DMG Motors, Clar Road, Donegal Town. Telephone 074 9721396.
Hillary's huge winter sale is on, and now there's even more savings for the window wise, with an extra 10% off everything until the 2nd of February. That's on top of up to 50% off hundreds of made-to-measure blinds, curtains and shutters. Plus, keep the cold out and the cosy in, with free thermal lining on our favourite curtains and Roman blinds. And don't forget, with Hillary's, measuring and fitting is always included. So get window wise. Book your free in-home appointment today at hillarys.ie. Conditions apply.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is?
The time now is 18 minutes past 9. Ashley Nichol joins me on the programme now. Ashley, thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it.
Good morning.
Now, you're speaking on behalf of your friend Anna. And Anna's partner, Martin Tran, is missing from County Donegal. We're going to post we're going to be posting the picture as part of this piece we're doing now. It's on our socials, and we want everyone to have a look at that and help bring Martin home. Talk to us about the last time he was seen and what we know of his movements, etc.
Grand. So the last time I saw Martin was last Tuesday. He was around at my house, and then on Wednesday morning he upped and left in his van, according to his partner Anna. Now I know he had been talking about doing a trip up to Donegal. However, Martin is a very organised individual, very experienced outdoor enthusiast. But it's very out of character that he wouldn't take his phone or his Garmin watch with him, which to me seemed very strange, because he would never go out on a big hike without navigation or navigation system. The last transaction in Kilcar, we have an idea that he might be up in the Slieve League area, and I suppose we're just issuing an appeal to anyone that may spot his van or anything to
okay,
get
we'll
in
get
touch.
that. I just want to walk the listeners through this a little bit, because it might trigger just a little, and I would have more sort of local information than you might. So his last card payment was on Sunday at Centra in Kilcar. So it's possible, isn't it? It's possible, isn't it, that maybe he used that as a springboard, maybe to go off the grid for whatever reason he might want to?
Possibly.
So what I'm trying to get at here
Possibly,
is if people see, did he bring any camping equipment with him? Do you know?
His van is always fully stocked with all his camping equipment, so he would have had everything with him.
And
he kind of pretty much has every piece of equipment.
Is a red Volkswagen Caravelle. Is it okay for me to give the number,
Yes, that's correct.
the number plate? Is that okay, Ashley?
Yes, no, That's okay.
Okay, so it's 08C19052. So it's a red Volkswagen Caravelle. So just in case you've seen it in any car parks, parked up anywhere. Gardaí have been informed, haven't they? So I'm not sure if they've issued an official missing persons yet, but they are involved in this. So it's if you've seen the van, if you've had any contact with Martin after his last card payment at Centra in Kilcar. The concern is that he may be injured or he may be lost, and he could be in and around the Slieve League areas or the Blue Stack Mountains or any of those mountainous areas around there. Is there any indication, Ashley, that Martin, how would you describe his well-being in advance of him going missing?
Martin, to me, is a very happy guy. He's always very enthusiastic. He can be a little bit extreme in terms of, I suppose, his adventures. But our concern would be that this is very out of character, that he hasn't let somebody know. And the main concern would be, as you said, that he's had an injury or an accident and he doesn't have a form of communication. I do know he's been speaking to me about his future plans and all that, so I wouldn't really be overly concerned about sort of, let's say, mental health issues or things like that. But yeah, as we said, myself and Anna are just more concerned that this is just very out of character for him.
Particularly the watch and the phone. As an experienced adventurer or climber or whatever you might want to describe him, those would be essential items, and the fact that he didn't or doesn't have them with him, obviously a further cause for concern.
Yes, no, definitely. Okay. As I said, I know Martin. I've been hiking with him, and that would be his number one go-to tool, is to have a backup navigation system if he's not too sure of the direction he needs to go in.
Okay, well, I'm going to share the image and vehicle description on our socials. We're sharing it now as we speak, as we stream the show live, Ashley, and of course the news team will pick up on this. We've got eyes and ears right across the region here at Highland Radio, and we just hope that someone spots this red Volkswagen Caravelle 08C19052 or has seen Martin, who's quite distinctive in his features too. He would stand out a little. And also too, if he's listening, maybe he's listening. It just so happens to be maybe he's sitting in a cafe somewhere. I don't know, but people are concerned for him and just want to know he's well.
Grand, yeah, I know that would be it. Possibly wearing mostly dark clothing, black jackets, green trousers or blue jackets, light blue trousers, blue hat or a black hat.
Okay, and if we hear anything, we're encouraging. Obviously, the first protocol is anyone to contact Gardaí, or if they pass on information to us, we'll pass it on to the authorities. I wish you, I wish you good luck in this search, and that Martin is back with Anna and the rest of his family and friends really, really soon.
Grand. Well, thanks a million for all your help.
Okay, all right. We'll see what comes from it. 08660 25,000. As I say, I just don't have it posted yet, but check out Highland social medias, and pictures of Martin are there, or our contact details 08660 25,000, even if you want us to put you in contact with someone else, if that makes sense. Very, very worrying. Very, very worrying, of course. 08660 25,000. I mentioned that number, didn't I? I'll be back with more after this quick break.
It's time to travel again, to feel nervous again, to go where they go and roar them on again. Rise again this Saturday in Croke Park for the Allianz Football League. Meath take on Derry at 3, followed by Dublin v Donegal at 5. Advanced ticket sales only at GAA.ie or selected Centra and Super Value stores. GAA, where we all belong.
Us pigeons see everything when we're flapping around up here.
Well, almost everything.
See, burning certain fuels releases invisible toxic pollutants, which can trigger asthma and lead to serious illness. So if you're going to light a fire in your home, make sure to use low smoke fuel. Oh, and never wing it burning rubbish.
Choosing low smoke fuel is better for all of us. Let's clear the air for everyone. And remember to clean chimneys and heating appliances at least once a year. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Imagine sinking into a perfect comfort every night. At Restex Beds, we believe a better sleep means a better life. Choose from our vast range of quality mattresses and find the one that's perfect for you. Restex Beds, Mountaintop Letterkenny. Leave the rest to us.
Don't wait to feel great. Whether you're a public patient looking to avail of cross-border treatment or have private medical insurance, find out how you can get rapid access to 5-star healthcare and world-class consultants at Kingsbridge Private Hospital Group. Join us at our Healthcare Information Day, Thursday 22nd of January from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Radisson Blu Hotel, Letterkenny. With 4 hospitals across the island of Ireland, learn about your entitlement to avoid potential waiting lists and gain rapid access to 5-star healthcare. Register now at kingsbridgeprivatehospital.com/cross-border clinics.
At Charlie's in Letterkenny, they've been serving great food since 1984 to sit in and take away. Everything at Charlie's is cooked to order, so if you're having an all-day breakfast, a burger, or their renowned fish and chips, you'll know they've been freshly prepared. And there's a great selection of gluten-free options. Charlie's, in the heart of Letterkenny, open Tuesday to Saturday from 12 to 8 and for breakfast on Fridays from 9 on the Pierce Road. When the hunger hits, pull into Charlie's.
Looking for your dream car? Look no further than Heron Auto, Donegal Town. With a massive selection of over 70 quality used cars in stock, we've got the perfect vehicle waiting just for you. Call in to Heron Auto today and drive home in style with a car that fits your taste and budget. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
Now, we may have a lead in relation to Martin, who is missing. We're chasing that up, and we'll bring you any details just as soon as we get them. Professor Deirdre Connolly is Principal Investigator of Can Work and joins me on the programme now. Good morning to you.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for your time. Right. Now, talk to me about the latest Can Work research project.
Yeah, so thanks a million for asking, for inviting me to talk about it this morning. So Can Work is a project that we have developed. It's a return to work program that we designed in consultation with women with breast cancer, Greg. And the aim and the objective of the return to work program, it's an occupational therapy led program, and it's aimed at supporting women and preparing women with breast cancer for going back to work.
What are the challenges that you found or in relation to getting back into work?
They're multiple, to be honest, Greg. They range from difficulties with physical problems. So it could be fatigue. Fatigue is a very severe long-term symptom after cancer treatment. It can be pain. It can be lymphedema. A lot of women have told us difficulty they experience with cognitive changes and challenges around things like concentration, multitasking. There's also the emotional impact of having a cancer and going back to work and trying to juggle that kind of and manage those psychological stress, anxiety, worry around cancer recurrence. Confidence is another area that a lot of women experience is, again, they've been through a very tough period with very severe treatments. And, their whole world has been turned upside down. So their self-confidence has been affected. So there's a whole range of post-treatment impacts then that can make it difficult for some women or across the board, people with cancer going back to work.
Yeah, indeed. And I think this is really important too, because sometimes you get the impression that, I'm cancer-free or, we're all clear. And the person themselves know, right, okay, but what's next? But everyone around them thinks, well, that's it. The battle's won, the fight's over, everything goes back to normal. But there are changes in a lot of people, and that doesn't tell the full story.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, Greg, and thanks for highlighting that, because that a lot of these difficulties that people experience, they're not visible problems, because again, when you think about treatment and sometimes people lose their hair, or they may have some kind of physical signs of their treatment. And once they're gone, they're again, like as you say, people think, God, you look great, you look fine. And, it's great you're back at work. But then, after a week or 10 days back at work, people forget, your colleagues, your employer, and yet the person can be really struggling with a range of issues. So that's why we developed Can Work. And it is a unique program to support people. At the moment, our study is focusing on breast cancer, but we do hope to expand it. But it's a 6-week program, Greg, and it's online so that anybody from across the country can join. And it's 5 weeks group based, where we cover these difficulties and we give people strategies, and also explain the underlying reasons for why they're experiencing some of these difficulties.
Yeah,
And then
and just in relation to those participating, like, what about employers? Because, some are going to be fantastic and get an understanding. And it might be that the CEO themselves had breast cancer, right? And that with that comes an understanding, as an example. And then others might be terrible, right? Because not necessarily because they're bad companies or bad people, but because there's a gap in information. So what can Work? Is Can Work actively working with businesses to maybe give some, to give a plan that can be implemented, or what do you see in the future, if not currently?
Sure. So there's a couple of things there. So one of the things that we do as part of Can Work is that we give the person a letter that they can share with the employer. So the women have fed back to us that has been an excellent resource, and the employers have really appreciated having it because, as you say, they don't always know what they need to do for employees coming back into the workplace. The other thing to say is that there is work going on, and we're collaborating. Can Work is establishing a national stakeholder of work and cancer. And we're working with other organisations like Purple House in Bray, who are a cancer support centre, who are setting up a training programme for employers in terms of educating them on how to support people coming back into the workplace with cancer. So there's a lot of work going on in this area at the moment, Greg, which is super, because it has been a very unaddressed area for people with cancer. And they have, they time and time again, people say to us, we're told your treatment is over, you're doing well, you've got the all clear, and off you go. And things like going back to work aren't talked about. They're not discussed in terms of maybe, going back on a part-time basis, or asking the employer for special accommodations around maybe the type of work that they might do. So again, that's what people with cancer
and all
are
of this doesn't really capture either, the potential difficulty that people might have in terms of promotional opportunities, career development, or the appetite for an employer to have them back in the workplace. That's all kind of a hidden element of this as well.
It's very, very tricky. And again, women have identified to us that they've been passed over for promotional purposes, that they are being left out of, if there's a new project coming into the workplace, something they would have previously been involved in. Assumptions are being made, you've had cancer, you're not sure you're able for this, we'll just get somebody else. And then, that does impact on your career development, and impacts on your level of satisfaction, your self-esteem. So again, all of those things that, we need to educate employees, employers, colleagues.
Okay,
around.
so you're halfway through the study. 174
Yes.
women have all enrolled to date. The more women involved in this, the better, the more complete it is. 174 is a huge number, don't get me wrong, but the more the merrier. And from all different areas too, because experiences can vary geographically as well. So, is it too late for people to get involved in this project, or how do they get more information?
No, not at all. And just to again say we have women from Donegal, but we'd love more women. The Cancer Support Centre, Cancer Care West Support Centre, John Donoghue has been fantastic in supporting us in this study. So just want to acknowledge that. But basically, yes, we need a wide national representation, Greg, for the study if we want this to be implemented long term. So for women to get in touch with us, we have a website. So, and our contact details are on that. Our website is www.canwork.ie, or people can email us directly, info@canwork.ie.
Okay, Professor
So please
Deirdre.
contact us. It doesn't people aren't obliged. They can contact us, get some information, and then make a decision if they're going to participate or not. But
Professor Deirdre,
we'd love that broad, wide representation on the study. It'll make a huge difference in terms of rolling out Can Work and making sure that it's available to everybody.
Okay, we'll stay in touch. Thank you very much indeed. That was Professor Deirdre Connolly there, Principal Investigator of Can Work. If you have any views in relation to that or any experience, 086 60 25,000, that's the WhatsApp and text number. Or alternatively, you can give us a call on 074 91 25,000. On the issue of traffic, I mentioned that one, that's okay. Hi Greg, I just wanted to make others aware of the new Snapchat update that allows your photos taken on Snapchat to be used for AI purposes. I've turned it off as I'd be worried for my children's images to be used. To turn it off, go to settings, my privacy and data, then generative AI settings. So is that a case that they are the default is that you give Snapchat access to your images for research purposes? I'm not really quite sure. Ian Talbot is Chief Executive of Chambers Ireland. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm good. Now, I think it was at the weekend, Chambers Ireland and the ICC released a press statement on Mercer Corps. We've really only heard one side of the Mercer Corps deal, and that primarily has come from farmers and elected reps advocating for farmers. I've tried to sort of put the other side across just in the interests of fullness of knowledge. We'll get to the deferral of the EU Mercer Corps agreement, but from Chambers Ireland's perspective, the EU Mercosur agreement would have been good news?
Yeah, absolutely. This would follow on from some of the other trade deals that the EU has agreed, such as the CETA agreement with Canada, which has proven very successful for exporting companies here, including sectors like the beef industry and cheese sector and so on. Very successful. But Mercosur opens up a new market of 295 million people and a growing middle class and growing wealth in that economy. And there's also the geopolitical aspects that we've seen, the uncertainty that prevails with North America at the moment. And we really need to find alternative markets for our products and services.
What do you think the message this sends out in relation to, how we're treated into the future? As I say, we benefit greatly from being this open market, yet here we are blocking deals.
Yeah, it's not a great look, if I'm honest, and we really need to look at our place in the world at the moment. The European Union has been extremely good to us. Our economy since we joined the EEC, as it was in 1973, has absolutely transformed. The EU stood behind us through, for example, the Brexit issues, which I know are still going on in some of the border areas by cross-border workers and things like that. But EU stood behind us. And EU is now looking at areas like India. 1.3 billion people have a potential market. So it's an enormous market for us for the future. For our exporters generally across the board. And I know there's concerns, particularly in the beef and poultry sector. It was great news 2 weeks ago that the Taoiseach came back from China with the beef market opened up again. That's fantastic news. And the beef sector has done very well out of CETA as well. So I think, the opportunities here are enormous. We're very concerned. We're very pleased to see some of the safeguards that have been implemented, or sorry, not implemented, but have been proposed both in the Mercosur agreement and also some of the commitments that the EU is making to the farming community into the future. So we think it's a good deal for the economy, and we think it's a very strong message to Europe that we are open for trade.
Right, but we voted against it as a country, and many MEPs voted for the Mercosur deal to be referred to the EU, to be referred to the European Court of Justice, which could mean a 1-2 year delay. That's not good news, surely, from your perspective.
Well, I think it's important that we be seen to conduct the democratic process properly. So if the MEPs have voted to send it to the European Court of Justice, that's absolutely fine, and let the European Court of Justice.
Well, some MEPs voted against. Some government MEPs voted
there
against that.
There was a mix. I think it was 4 of our MEPs voted in favour of this deal, and that again shows. I mean, I think that's a strength. It shows that our MEPs have the ability to assess individually, and it's not subject, for example, to a government whip on these things. So people have the ability to look and assess the arrangements themselves. And our MEPs are on the ground in the European Parliament in Brussels. They're talking to all the other MEPs. They're talking to MEPs across their various parties, the EPP, Renew, and so on, and getting the sense from their equivalents in other countries. And I think they're doing a great job for Ireland. I think we don't talk enough about the positive impact our MEPs have and the things they're doing. I mean, they're working extremely hard over in Brussels. I spend plenty of time visiting the European Parliament and meeting them, and it's extraordinary how much work they're doing. They probably don't get a lot of credit for, probably not understood. There's a sense that a lot of stuff that happens in Europe, stuff that's been negotiated in Europe today, mightn't actually hit the Irish legislative books for 5 years.
Maybe it's a Northwest thing, because I'm not questioning how hard they work, but all we hear on Highland Radio is that they're opposed to this deal that you're so in favour of.
And this deal yesterday was just one point on the agenda of an awful lot of other things that they're looking at, including so much of our employment legislation. And of course, we've recently seen the nitrates derogation go through as well. So that was some very strong work by our MEPs and our government on that as well.
You still want, and you're confident, the Mercosur deal will pass, albeit delayed now. And if that means the destruction of the Irish farming industry, as those who are working in that industry, farmers say it will, that's a price you believe is worth paying?
Well, Greg, first of all, we heard a lot of the same arguments back in 2016, 17, 18 around CETA. It hasn't come to pass. The beef numbers are 99,000 tonnes of beef, 50%, I think, of which will be frozen beef. It's the equivalent of a small steak per person per annum in the European Union. And there's so many other markets, including the reopening of the Chinese market, for example. I'm no expert in the farming sector, but any negotiation, there's a balance, and there's if you like, mediation to find a solution that works for everybody.
MEP Kieran Malooly has welcomed, of course, yesterday's decision by the European Parliament to refer the trade deal to the European Court. You described it as a pivotal moment for legal certainty, democratic oversight, and the protection of European farmers. But as we've heard there from Ian, maybe the threat to Irish farmers is being overstated.
Good morning, Greg. Good morning to your listeners, and good morning to Ian from Strasbourg.
Good morning, Kieran. We've communicated on this topic as well.
We have indeed. I think what Ian is talking about is important there. I think there's a balance to be struck in this situation, and it's our job as MEPs to evaluate what's going on. So I suppose, firstly, if we look at the Mercosur situation and what this deal is about and the scale of it. In a context, say, of this week, Greg, and we'd always talk about US trade and EU trade, we do about 80 billion of trade with the United States of America. It is crucial. We do at the moment less than 570 million of trade with the Mercosur countries. And even going by the Commission's forecast, we were going to grow that by 0.25%, a quarter of 1%. So you can see why I have always said, in fact, that this trade deal has actually been overstated.
Okay, so why
And the
would
value
we
of this has
spend
been-
20 years trying to get a deal over the line that would benefit this country, this union by such a fraction? I mean, that doesn't make sense. Why would countries be pushing so hard? Why would so much time be taken up in the EU infrastructure over a nothing deal that one stroke of a pen from Donald Trump could wipe out 15 times over with a tariff raise?
Well, it's very simple, Greg. Do the sums again. I said about our 570 million and the trade increasing by 0.25%. You can take it from me that the German car industry and the Italians and the French have a lot more than 570 million at stake here. They have been among the countries who've been pushing this for their own individual reasons, in the same way as I've been opposing it because of the threat it would pose to Irish farmers and to the rural Ireland in terms of the effect on our beef trade. That's what happens in Europe. Everybody speaks up for their corner at the end of the day, and 27 countries are involved in this, and that's my job to represent my constituency.
Of course, and you're only speaking up for farmers. What about the business people? What about the growth in our exports? What about the removal of tariffs in very important industries in this country that could see those industries grow? Where's your advocacy for the other side of this argument?
I'm pro-trade, Greg. I represent people like Abbott in your corner of the country, Pharma Jazz in Athlone, Alchemire, these companies who want to trade with South America. But they also have a fairly good vision of what the scale of that trade would be. And when I meet them, they don't say to me, and never had, Kieran, we must open the doors to South America. They say to me first and foremost, you know what you need to do, Kieran? You need to ensure we sort out the EU trade on pharmaceuticals. We need proper, faster regulation in terms of drugs. We need to get rid of the red tape, and that's where most of our business is done. These are the issues and priorities that people in the pharma trade give to me. And you know what? I represent their views just as much as I do the farmers.
I'll come back to you in a moment. Ian Tolbert, Chief Executive of Chambers Ireland. According to MEP Kieran Mullooly there, I mean, this deal is not that big a deal, really. Would you agree with that framing?
You can argue any way you like on this. Expanding our markets is a good deal for Irish companies and for the European Union. And I suppose I mentioned earlier opportunities coming forward, like the India agreement. There's talk of having a paper on the India agreement before the end of the month, which is looming large. India is a market of 1.3 billion people. And I've not seen the nuances yet of the India deal. I guess we'll have to wait and see what Commissioner Sefcovic has got down on paper. But I worry that there's an overriding sense among the Irish population that trade somehow is a bad thing. And the rhetoric on trade at the moment is very negative. And we're very pro-trade, and we see Mercosur as part of it.
But who do you think's been? I mean,
by the European Union.
The very same people that you spent 3 or 4 minutes praising are the very same people that aren't relating that message and have been speaking out against the Mercosur deal. We're getting our information from the MEPs and the farming groups.
I don't agree at all. I think, again, people are looking for sectors that matter to them. That's democracy at work. The voting in the European Union Parliament, the European Parliament yesterday was very close. It reflects concerns. And the EU Commission has been trying to address those concerns and the extra safeguards and the extra financial commitments it's talking about on Mercosur to get that over the line. It's all a negotiation.
Kieran, how much of this was really referring this to the European Court, and how much of it do you think strategically was working out the numbers to kick this very controversial can down the road a couple of years?
I'll be honest with you, Greg. A lot of people were campaigning for a yes vote yesterday, so they could kick it down the road. An awful lot of people were doing that. But the key reason why we were successful yesterday is that there's a group of people in the middle in Europe who take the Treaty of the European Union, Article 2, seriously when it says we must respect the human rights of everybody in the Union. They voted yesterday because the procedures are there, the rules are there, and we've done it in the past. The Canadian trade deal, Greg, had to go back to Parliament in Dublin. It had to be referred to the courts eventually, and all of this had to be done by the European courts as well before we voted on it. And those are the rules, and we will stick to those rules as long as I'm here in Brussels. We'll make no apology for doing that. They are the rules, and we will vote accordingly to see that the rights of Irish people in Donegal and elsewhere are respected here.
Thank you very much indeed, MEP Kieran Mullooly. Did you want to say something? Sorry, Ian, I was just going to thank you for your time. Oh, I've actually got rid of him. My apologies. Kieran, take care of yourself. Thank you very much indeed. And Caroline, we might just pass on to Ian that I accidentally kicked him out. It wasn't my intention. All right, what's your takeaway from all of that? I think really what that means is Mercosur, I might be pronouncing it wrong all of the time. That conversation's kicked down the road. We're not going to hear about that for a while. A very astute listener here. Good morning, Greg. In relation to your comment on the beef deal, on the 7th of January, they've kept the receipts. You suggested Ireland would vote for it and the deal would go through. How wrong were you? Any comment on that? Yes, indeed. The next day. In fact, it was Kieran Malooly that I was trying to get a bet going because I was of the view, especially in relation to the comments that the Taoiseach had made the day prior in China, that we were going to see which way the wind blowed and vote in favour of it. And I put my hands up and I said, I was wrong. Of course, I was wrong. And I've no problem with that whatsoever. Unfortunately, you must have missed the show on the 9th of January. I was just certain that we would sort of be the good boys of Europe again. As it turns out, we weren't. And I'll tell you what I did really underestimate is the power of the rural TDs that support the government. Because I think it was their intervention that was critical, actually, in the stance that we took in relation to that. But I've no problem putting my hands up when I'm wrong. I was wrong. Far out as Fanad Lighthouse.
Tradweek returns to Letterkenny, presented by the Regional Cultural Centre and An Greenan Theatre, from the 24th of January to the 7th of February. The festival brings together leading traditional, folk and contemporary artists for concerts, talks, workshops, storytelling and family events. For more info, see regionalculturalcentre.com.
Genesis Clinic Gudor, introducing Purisomes and Secret RF Microneedling, an advanced skin treatment that combines radiofrequency energy with microneedling to lift and tighten jowls and neck, minimise wrinkles and scars, and improve tone, texture, pigmentation and redness. Also offering PDO thread lifts, dermal fillers, skin boosters and laser treatments for hair, rosacea, acne, ageing and all skin conditions. Contact Mary Ferry, your aesthetic practitioner, at Genesis Clinic Gudor, 07495 32575.
At iMotors, your trusted Donegal dealership for over 50 years, we bring you Nissan, a reliable Japanese brand for generations. Get your new 261 Nissan with €4,000 finance contribution or trade-in booster. Plus, enjoy low-rate finance options. Visit imotors.ie today for your best deal for 2026.
iMotors, fearless generation.
If you're feeling unwell, Clinic 45 is now open in Letterkenny, providing expert care with a wide range of medical services, including blood tests, vaccines, minor injuries and prescriptions. Consultations are just €45. Clinic 45 now open Monday to Friday at Fort Lynn House in Fort Breachill Park, Letterkenny, opposite the New Duns. No appointment needed. See clinic45.ie.
Looking for something to do this January? Make a day of it at Century Complex. Enjoy movies, great food, games and let the kids burn off the energy in Century Play. From family days out to relaxing catch-ups, there's something for everyone under one roof. Visit centurycinemas.ie or call 07491 21976.
Urgent news. Cooney's Home Interiors stock disposal sale must end this Sunday. All their clearance stock has been transferred from the warehouse to the showroom and prices cut for the final time across the store. This is your last chance to grab an unrepeatable furniture bargain. Only at Cooney's, Letterkenny Retail Park. Hurry, sale ends at 6 on Sunday.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenny's. Further reductions now on in the McElhenny's winter sale. Save up to 50% off your favourite designer brands in store or online today at mcelhennys.com.
So mostly cloudy and misty with outbreaks of rain turning heavy at times. Highest temperatures of 7 to 9 degrees with light to moderate southeasterly winds. Freshening in the east this evening. Right, now, just before we move on, is that voice message that's in the high... Okay, that's the correct one. So Lisa Crawford, auntie of young David Curran, has given us an update on his condition. As you would know, Davin is currently in CHI Crumlin with myocarditis and cardiomyopathy, along with rhinovirus and parvovirus infections, because his heart and lungs are not able to function on their own right now. Davin is being supported by an ECMO machine, which is a form of life support used in critical situations. And the family have set up a GoFundMe to help alleviate the final pressure. And we've received this voice message update from Lisa Crawford.
Hi all, just a wee update on Davin's situation. Davin is still very ill in Our Lady's Hospital for Sick Children in Crumlin. He is currently getting the highest level of support care that can be given in Ireland. There may be a possibility that Davin may need to be transferred to the UK in the coming days. Thank you all for donating and sharing this GoFundMe. We are overwhelmed with the support. I will keep updating you all as often as I can. In the meantime, please keep sharing the GoFundMe. Please keep Davin and his parents in your prayers. We appreciate them all. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, for that update. And we are all thinking on you. And we wish you all the best. And we'll share that GoFundMe on our socials again if you wish to do as Lisa said there and donate or share it. On the Mercer Core deal, just as we head towards the news, there's nothing sustainable about sending goods thousands of miles away in any direction. Who wants hormone-ridden meat or 100-day-old fish? Support local produce. But there are certain things that you do really need to import and export, and it is how things work. Okay, listen, thank you for all of your messages coming in so far. We'll keep you up to date with all of those after we take a break.
With 56 post offices across Donegal from Lifford to Letterkenny and an award-winning Irish customer service team, An Post Money is the only current account that's truly local. Start your financial year the right way. Pop in to your local post office or download the An Post Money app today. An Post Money, making better happen. Terms and conditions apply. A monthly maintenance fee applies. An Post is authorised by the Minister for Finance to provide payment services and is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland in the provision of such services.
Donegal County Council is varying the county development plan and is inviting members of the public to have their say between the 16th of January and the 13th of February. The proposed variation will provide for new area plans for Anclahan Lea, Ballyshannon, Bridgend, Carndonagh, Donegal Town and Killybegs. The variation will also provide for the rezoning of certain lands in Stranraer, Buncrana and Letterkenny. Full details of the proposed variation, including details on how to make a submission, can be found on the Council's consultation website, consult.donegal.ie.
Do you suffer from high cholesterol, menopause symptoms, digestive issues, anxiety, aches and pains, or a lack of energy? The highly trained team at the Natural Way Letterkenny can provide advice on natural remedies for a number of individual health issues. The Natural Way also has its own brand of herbal treatments to help fight fatigue, relieve digestive discomfort, maintain a healthy immune system and alleviate common menopause symptoms. The Natural Way at Letterkenny Shopping Centre, your one-stop health shop.
Hurry, the biggest sale ever at Easy Living Furniture has been extended. Don't miss your final chance to transform your home. Each department is bursting with value, including sofas, living, dining, bedroom, mattresses, accessories and more. This is your last chance to save big and make the most of these exceptional discounts at one of Ireland's largest furniture retailers. Shop at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry, before the biggest sale ever ends.
Are you worried about trees on your property? Northwest Forestry Services Ballybuffet are fully insured and have over 40 years experience in dangerous tree removal, tree felling, surgery and stump grinding. For peace of mind, call Northwest Forest Services Ballybuffet for a no obligation quotation on 913233.
McGowan Hearing, one of the longest established audiologists in the Northwest, now have weekly clinics in Letterkenny, Buncrana and Carndonagh. Book your free hearing aid consultation at one of these clinics or with audiologist Darren McGowan in your own home. Call 07191 00208 or visit mcgowanhearing.com.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's Donna Marie Doherty with the news at 10 o'clock.
Concerns are growing for Martin Tran, who's believed to be missing in Donegal. Martin's partner says he left home last week and did not take his phone with him. The last recorded use of Martin's bank card was on Sunday at Centra in Kilcar. He's understood to be driving a red Volkswagen Corel van with a registration number of 08C19052, which contains his camping equipment. His friend Ashley told this morning's Greg's Hughes show that they're concerned he may be injured.
Martin, to me, is a very happy guy. He's always very enthusiastic. He can be a little bit extreme in terms of, I suppose, his adventures. But our concern would be that this is very out of character, that he hasn't let somebody know. And the main concern would be, as you said, that he's had an injury or an accident and he doesn't have a form of communication.
A toddler from St Johnstone may have to be transferred to a hospital in the UK in the coming days as he continues to fight for his life. Davin Kern has been diagnosed with myocarditis and cardiomyopathy, along with rhinovirus and parvovirus infections. He's currently receiving the highest level of life support available in Ireland at Our Lady's Hospital for Sick Children. His aunt Lisa Crawford set up a GoFundMe page to help ease the financial burden on the Kern family, and more than €45,000 has been raised to date. Capital funding of over €230,000 has been approved for College de Vrija in Ranafast. More than 1,700 students attended the courses, which are held there every summer, as well as third level students during the academic year. This has been announced by the Minister for the Gaeltacht, Dara Calleary, which will be used to carry out essential renovation and fire safety works. With more, here's Tara Duggan.
This funding's been sanctioned under the Community and Language Supports Programme and will contribute up to 50% of the approved project cost. The programme supports Gaeltacht communities in developing and upgrading community and language facilities. A contractor has been formally awarded the project, with commencement anticipated within the next month. Speaking following the announcement, Pat the Cope Gallagher said the planned renovation and fire safety improvements will ensure that the college continues to provide a safe, modern and welcoming environment for students from across the country.
Business owners in Strabane have held a meeting to discuss the impact of rates in the town. With politicians and business leaders in attendance, multiple issues were discussed. The meeting's organisers, Niall Speak, felt positive about the meeting and hopes this can be the beginning of a wider movement.
Further lobbying and further meetings, certainly, because I think that every business owner has an onus on themselves to protect their own business and protect where they're from. So I would welcome, obviously, more meetings, more engagement. We were never going to sort everything out in the first night, and sometimes these meetings go away a bit wayward and can, at times, overpower things. But I think certainly engagement is good. It's the start of something. We feel like it's the start of something, but it needs more. It needs more talking.
Ishka Aaron has been accused of displaying a culture of arrogance during a sitting of the Dáil over communication issues with representatives in Donegal. Deputy Padraig McLaughlin said in his experience, every other public service has systems in place to make contact with senior personnel in instances when pressing issues or questions arise. However, in the case of water, Deputy McLaughlin says they rely on emails, often waiting days for a response.
It is absolutely unacceptable that there isn't a list of phone numbers that a public representative can ring. I mean, if you're dealing with any other state agency, there are senior people that you can call and have a conversation offline to understand what is going on and to properly communicate with your constituents. We continue to have to work with emails. And the problem with that, it takes days to respond, and sometimes you need a response very, very quickly. You can't wait days. It's a culture of arrogance.
Looking now to the weather forecast, mostly cloudy and misty with outbreaks of rain turning heavy at times. Highest temperatures of 7 to 9 degrees with light to moderate southeasterly winds. That's all for now from the newsroom. Back again with headlines at 11 o'clock.
The obituary notices this Thursday morning, January the 22nd. The death has taken place of Alphonsus Alfie McBride, 10 Muckish Terrace, Creeshla. His remains will arrive at St Michael's Church, Creeshla, tomorrow at 6 p.m. to repose overnight. Funeral mass there on Saturday at 11 a.m. Burial afterwards in Doe Cemetery. The funeral mass can be viewed online at mcn.live. The sudden death has taken place of Francis Kelly Jr., Glendoskert, Glengad. Francis' remains will leave Eamon McLaughlin Funeral Home, Station Road, Carndonagh this evening at 6 p.m, going to his home. Funeral from there on Saturday at 11:15 a.m. for 12 p.m. Requiem Mass in St Mary's Church, Lag, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Family flowers only please, donations in lieu if desired, to Pieta House, care of any family member or Eamon McLaughlin Funeral Director. The death has occurred of George Doherty, G., Molly's Bray, Churchtown, Carndonagh. His remains will be reposing at his home from 3 p.m. today. Removal from there on Saturday at 10:30 a.m, going to the Church of the Sacred Heart, Carndonagh, for 11 a.m. Requiem Mass, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Requiem Mass can be viewed live on the parish webcam. Family time please from 10 p.m. to 11 a.m. Family flowers only please, donations in lieu if desired to the Beach Hill Manor Private Nursing Home, care of any family member or Blaine McCarran, Kelly's Funeral Director. The death has occurred of William Joseph Farron, late of Old Mavilla Road, Newtonards. Family and friends are welcome at the family home today from 6 p.m. and tomorrow until 1 p.m. Requiem Mass in St Patrick's Church, Newtonards on Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Burial afterwards at Mavilla Cemetery. Family flowers only please. Donations may be sent if desired to Marie Curie and or the RNLI Donegal D branch, care of S. Clark & Son Funeral Director, 12 Court Square, Newtonards. The death has taken place of Nora McBride, Golan, Milford, reposing at her home until 10 o'clock this evening. Funeral Mass tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. in St Bridget's Church, Golan. Burial afterwards in Milford Cemetery. Those attending the wake between the hours of 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. should park at Golan Chapel and a bus will be provided from there. The death has taken place in Cheltenham, England, of Audrey Stevens, née Coyle, formerly of Cornagill and High Road, Letterkenny. Audrey will be reposing at the Eternal Light Chapel of Rest, Mountain Top, Letterkenny this evening from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Requiem Mass tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. in St Eunan's Cathedral, Letterkenny, which can be viewed live on churchservices.tv. Interment afterwards in Conwall Cemetery. Donations to the Kevin Bell Repatriation Trust, care of any family member. The death has taken place of Sophie Harrison, née McGroddy, 154 Upper Mount Marion, Milford. Requiem Mass today at 12 noon in St Peter's Church, Milford. Burial afterward in Milford Cemetery. Mass can be viewed on churchservices.tv. Family time please before the funeral. Family flowers only. Donations if desired to Alzheimer's Society, care of any family member. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Discover Centra Simple Savers, your go-to for great everyday value. Like Lions Tea Original Blend 80-pack, €2. Clean Cut Meals and the Happy Pear Meals range, 2 for €10. And selected Kellogg's Rice Krispies Squares 4-pack, €2 each. Enjoy simple prices on all your favourites. Centra. Live every day.
Now, you're very welcome back to the Greg Hughes Show here on Highland Radio. It's good to have you on board. Thank you very much indeed. If you missed the first hour, by the way, don't forget you can listen to the podcast now on iTunes and on Spotify. It automatically goes there, available for you to listen with one neat, tidy file and a description of the show's contents as well. So if you are on Spotify and you want to make sure you're up to date, if you don't listen live, please go to it, search out the Greg Hughes podcast from Highland Radio and give it a like. And if you enjoy it too, maybe give it a rating. I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. Just a couple of birthday requests as we go into the second hour. Happy belated birthday for yesterday to Abigail O'Loughlin, Hillary Top. Well, anyway, the name for sure is Abigail O'Loughlin. And the best wishes to you come in from Granny Orla, Great Granny Bridie, your two aunties, Uncle Mum and two wee sisters, and our mother's best friend as well. Could you send 80th birthday wishes to Rosalie McCormick, Capri, for tomorrow from her favourite nephew? All right, Rosalie. Now, if you've more than one, you're going to have to figure out who that came from. Happy belated birthday for yesterday to Abigail O'Loughlin. I had that one already, and from the same people. Okay, that's just a double print. More than happy to do that for you. Right, a lot of you complaining and passing on information as it relates to traffic. There was a car broken down on the inbound right-hand lane of the dual carriageway into Letterkenny at Kelly's Toyota garage. I'm not sure if that's been cleared yet, but we're still getting some indications that there is a traffic build-up. Right, so on Mercer call Greg, really laughable. Ian saying the vote of the Irish people needs to be respected. Didn't we, the Irish people, vote no on the Lisbon Treaty? Well, we do have a habit of going back to the people when we don't like what they say. Could you ask the MEPs what are they doing in Europe about the immigration problem in this country that's putting such a strain on every service going? Letterkenny is a prime example. There are a lot of immigrants here, and it's a pity not one representative can get the courage to speak up about it silently, letting it happen. More big housing projects started, and we know who the majority of them will go to. I understand your concerns, and I'm not in any way poo-pooing them. But there are public representatives, many of them in Donegal, that have spoken out about immigration into this county and the strain on services and the fact that until such time as services are improved, that the county really perhaps can't accommodate anymore. I've done the interviews with these elected representatives myself. In terms of housing, we've done a bit of a dive into this, and we are assured that there are no queue jumping or no queue jumpers on the housing waiting list. But you might say, listen, they would say that, or you would say that. I'm only telling you what the official line is coming into us. Also, it's up to us what we do. You can't blame the MEPs. Europe has a certain policy as it relates to immigration. It is changing a little bit, but it's up to us what parts of it we do and don't sign up to as well. So if the truth be told, that is a national government problem. Right, okay. The Irish Road Hauliers Association has written to county councillors urging them to submit motions of no confidence in the Road Safety Authority. Ger Hyland is president of the IRHA. It was interesting. We had the minister responsible for the Road Safety Authority on the show last week or the week before. Ger, not only are they not looking no longer to split up the RSA, they're looking to keep it as is. You're not in agreement with that?
Well, we're not, and the first thing I would point out here is a sure sign of madness is to use the same people to do the same thing to affect a different result. So, why the government paid huge money to get an Indicon report done as to how they would reform and revamp the RSA. The Indicon report came back, was very damning on the RSA and suggested that it need two separate bodies. The government cited cost being the contributory factor to the fact that they're not going to take the Indicon report on board. Our view here is that how do you cost road safety and how do you cost lives?
It'd be hard to stay in any job if you were overseeing such a dramatic increase in the amount of deaths on our roads, the amount of drink driving, drug driving detections, speeding detections, the lack of compliance with the law in that regard, the incredibly long wait for driving tests. In fact, they're facing some strike action from driving testers as well. And that's just part of it. I mean, it is, I think someone could argue, it is an association or an authority, that is pretty much failing on every marker there is to determine whether a system is working or not. So why do you think the government is sticking with this insanity as you frame it?
Well, I don't know. The reason they gave us was cost. And as I said to you, I don't know how you cost lives or a life. We had 185 people killed on our roads last year. Not alone that, the majority of families in this country has been discommoded by the inactions and the inactivity of the RSA over 2 decades. The length of time our young people are waiting for driving tests. It has had serious consequences, especially for rural Ireland. There's not a family, I'd say, in rural Ireland over the last 20 years that hasn't been affected by road fatalities, by our young people who are paying exorbitant insurance rates to have an L plate sitting on a car They can't bring their car to college, to school, to work because they don't have a qualified driver to sit beside them. And, you know, to have these young people marooned in rural Ireland because they can't get a driving test is a damning indictment on not only the RSA, but also our government.
There's
Our
another thing
government
too as
are
well.
not listening.
Yeah, last year there was an awful lot of money spent, and like I don't even want to quantify it because this is what makes me I find amusing, not amusing in a funny way, but one of the big things that happened recently was a reduction of speed limits on certain roads. Now, they went down from 80 to 60. There's no policing of it really. We installed signs on every little back road there is in this entire country. I'd love to know how much that cost. And whilst that was being done in that year, we saw this increase in road fatalities. So how could money be used as an excuse when money was literally wasted? Because the only way that money could be proven to have been beneficial was if we'd have seen a reduction in road traffic collisions, particularly on these types of roads, but we haven't. So who's going to take the blame for that massive bill for putting these signs up? Some signs that don't even have numbers on them, just lines that no one understands what they are. Who's going to take responsibility for that? And why not have spent that money in reforming the RSA?
There is no responsibility or accountability. You're talking about speed limit signs going up on rural roads. We've seen 80-kilometre signs being put on a rural road where, in fact, the safe driving speed is probably 40 kilometres. We've seen 50-kilometre signs being put on the edge half a mile out from towns and villages. When, 50 kilometres an hour is an absolute ridiculous speed that far out. Certainly when you get into the town and the village, certainly 50 kilometres an hour is probably the max speed you can do, or maybe a bit too much in cases. But common sense has to prevail. And a lot of these speed limit signs that went up were a knee-jerk reaction to a number of accidents that happened over maybe one weekend. And then they came out and decided, we're going to reduce speed. Reducing speed is fine, but it has to have a sensible approach as well. And it has to have, to be fair, the guards in this country, and I have a huge respect for them, but they are very severely under-resourced.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? Most of our major accidents are on country roads late at night. We have a driving test that's not fit for purpose. We have a young person to do 10 or 12 lessons, whatever they do. They can't even apply for a test until they have their 10 or 12 lessons done. The RSA are claiming now to have the test time down to 10 weeks. I guarantee you there'll be no member or no listener of your programme that's going to ring in when we finish talking to say they're getting a test in 10 weeks or under. And this is the type of nonsense that the RSA are going on with.
All right, so you're calling on local authority members, county councillors to forward motions of no confidence in the Road Safety Authority. It depends when you sent this letter to the councillors, I suppose, and when motions are submitted. At this point, you don't really know, do you, what kind of response you've had that from local authority members? What kind of response you've had to that?
Well, we don't, because the email only went out to all the councillors yesterday evening.
Okay.
There was an initiative taken by Kerry County Council last week, led by Kerry County Council. It wasn't prompted by me or my association, to have a vote of no confidence in the RSA. And this is where I got my idea, because our local county councillors, they're on the ground, they're in touch with the people. We have a government who seems to be not listening to the people. And this is why I have turned to the county councillors to ask them to put a motion at their next county council meeting of no confidence in the RSA.
Okay, Ger Hyland, President of the Irish Road Hauliers Haulage Association. If you have a view on the Road Safety Authority, maybe you're very much in favour of the work that they do. Maybe you think the reduction in speed limits was one of the greatest acts any authority or association has ever undertook. 086 60 25,000. That's the WhatsApp and text number. Give us a call on 074 91 25,000.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Thursday, the 22nd of January, Jackpot Day. You're playing for the jackpot prize of €13,000 on the pink sheet. The reference number is S19. It's game number 4. The jackpot number is 60. This number can come out in any position for the next 10 numbers drawn. And now, here are your daily numbers. 18, 75, 16, 89, 57, 72, 13, 20, 31, and finally 60. Phone your claim to 910-4833 before midnight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
True luxury is best experienced firsthand. So, experience it for yourself today at Lexus Letterkenny. From the thrilling NX to the all-electric RZ, both available with a €2,000 bonus once registered before January 31st. Enjoy everyday extraordinary with the compact LBX or the stylish UX, with flexible payment options available across the range. The luxury begins with L at Lexus Letterkenny Port Road. Lexus. Experience amazing. Terms and conditions apply.
Clearing out, renovating or need a septic tank emptied? Donegal Waste and Recycle has you covered with local skip hire and tanker services. Efficient, affordable and handled by a team you can trust, based in Donegal town. Book today at donegalwasteandrecycle.com or call 074 9740 130. Donegal Waste and Recycle.
With an ESB Network smart meter, you're in control. Track your daily, weekly and monthly electricity usage so you can choose the right plan for your home. Smart meters help all of us make smarter energy choices, so we can work together for Ireland's cleaner electric future. Sign up to a free ESB Networks online account today and see how your smart meter can work for you. ESB Networks, energising your everything.
After a successful pre-season Dr. McKenna Cup campaign, Donegal are now switching their focus to the National Football League. Jim McGuinness has taken his Chargers to Croke Park this coming Saturday. In round 1, it's Dublin versus Donegal, and it's live on Highland from the 5 o'clock throw-in.
Donegal action in the National Football League is brought to you by Highland Motors. A new season, a new car. Select one of the new Renault, Dacia or Citroën models for a test drive today at Highland Motors.
On Mercosur, beg your pardon, there's nothing sustainable about sending goods thousands of miles away in any direction. Who wants hormone-ridden meats or 100-day-old fish? Hi Greg, I was on carers and working 15 hours a week. Then my mum died and then I took sick. I had to go to Beaumont Hospital for an operation on my head. I got a letter from Revenue. I could not understand it. I took it into the local accountant. I was told when working I had not paid enough tax. I owed €4,400, which I had to pay. I thought it very unfair as I was employed for then 15 hours and tax took out my wages. I was not self-employed. I'm sorry about that. Maybe you could pass this to Greg Hughes and see what the public think. Is our National Saints Day being hijacked? What has hijabs got to do with St. Bridget? Right. World Hijab Day and St. Bridget's Day celebration focusing on similarity, not difference. The 1st of February 2026, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m, Radisson Hotel, Letterkenny. What's it got to do with it? I would just say it's two people that two cultures hold in, or, you know, one, obviously St. Bridget's a culture, and the other, World Hijab Day, another culture celebrates that, and combining them for one event. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much, but some people believe it's no good. This caller says this is disgraceful. These people have nothing in common with St. Bridget or our Christian beliefs. Letterkenny is disintegrating before our eyes. First the mosque and now this. Wake up, Letterkenny people, and put a stop to this. So another here, the celebration of St. Bridget's Day alongside the Muslim community with the World Hijab Day and St. Bridget's Day celebration is a shocking disgrace to a saint we've only honoured with a national holiday by Donegal County Library. What do you think about it? Right, So just to try and describe what it is, it's an event on the 1st of February, Radisson Hotel Letterkenny. They are combining St. Bridget's Day with World Hijab Day. And the subtext is focusing on similarity, not difference. Do you think that's an affront to Christianity or perhaps another religion? I don't know what you might think to that. But I don't see anything on the face of it, but maybe I don't understand. I just think it's maybe two cultures coming together to celebrate different events on the same day. But as I say, I've literally just become aware of it. So that's just my initial thought. I don't know. Let's get back to the road. Senator Manus Boyle of Fine Gael, good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg, and good morning to your listeners.
We're back talking about road safety in the south of the county, and it's Keelogs National School in Inver. For those who may not have heard our previous chats about this, Manus, what's going on?
Basically, what's happening is during the busy times in the morning from 9 o'clock to, say, 9:30, and again then from 2:30 to 3 o'clock, people exiting from the school find it very hard to get out onto the N56 with the speed of traffic coming. And a lot of people has been on to me. There was an ear miss there last week, and it's something that really needs to be sorted out here and addressed. We also had, I don't know, did you hear, we also had an ear miss yesterday in Duncanelli National School when a car went through a red light again. So it's really becoming a big issue in Donegal outside these schools. You also have Frosses and Killimard that we had problems with in the past too, and we have also Killatee National School. So along, as you say, the South Donegal, there's a lot of problems there at schools,
Right, but what do we do about it? We're talking about this all of the while. These schools, a lot of these schools were there already, right? And these roads became busy around them. What are we going to do about it? Who's at fault? It's always the same convo, Is it the TII? Is it the council? You can't put in speed ramps because there has to be a traffic study, and that traffic study is not going to happen at the moment, and on it goes until such time as, unfortunately, outside one of these schools, we are going to see a student lose their life, or maybe alongside a parent. So who's going to take the responsibility for this and get it sorted?
Well, I think everybody in Donegal, the councillors and everybody in the council really knows that there's a problem here, and they are all pushing. I think it comes down, we have to put serious pressure on the Department of Transport to do traffic surveys and get things sorted outside schools. Now, you take Keelogs, for instance, it's a 100-mile zone come across Anver Bridge. You would know that area well yourself. Yeah. And coming the other way is 100, and all we have there is a steel sign with a child on it crossing the road. There's far more could be done there to slow traffic down. Duncanelli's a different kettle of fish with the traffic lights there. The TII is working on Duncanelli, but there are also problems with the Department of Education there, so we're trying to work through them. I think it's an overall thing we really need to get everybody involved here to try and get these schools. At the end of the day, Greg, the children needs to go to school and know that they're safe. I know I went to Duncanelli National School, and maybe I looked out the window too many times. But one time there, if you heard a car or a lorry coming up past Duncanelli School, you would say, "Oh, who's that?" Now it's just steady traffic. The amount of traffic that's on the road is unbelievable, So something has to be done and done fast.
Yeah, so what happens next then?
Well, I'm pushing the Department of Transport to do these surveys outside the school, and I'm looking for all Donegal politicians to fall in behind me here, that the problem schools, that we get to them as soon as possible. There's no good in kicking the can down the road till something happens. The last thing I want is any child or any parent, anything to happen, anybody going to school. So I think this is the only way we're going to try and make progress, if we all come together and push the departments to do these surveys outside the school, to see the volumes of traffic that's going past, and, be honest, the speed of traffic that's going past too.
So Keelogs School, is that the same as St. Noel's School or a separate school?
That's Keelogs School's down off a number village.
All right, okay.
There, yeah. Keelogs down there. And it's a really good school. And being honest, It is about 500 yards off the main road.
Yeah, okay. So your
And
concern.
the problem is that
Exactly, but that's not 100k, right? It's off the main road. It's not 100k. Is the danger then as the traffic exits out onto the main Donegal town to Killybegs Road?
Exactly, Greg. Coming in the morning and exiting in the evening, that's where the problem is there, because the traffic's coming too hard around there, you know. So it's something that needs to be addressed very, very quickly.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was that turn-off or another one further up, but there was a very serious road traffic collision.
Exactly, Greg. I didn't like to say that, but you're 100% right.
It's at
Just
that
about
junction.
50 yards up the road, there was a major accident.
It was going back a number of years, but if there was any indication of how dangerous that can be, and turn-offs and turn-ins and turn-outs, there you go. Okay. What's your views on the Road Safety Authority? We were talking to the Irish Road Hauliers Association there. They want local authorities to debate motions of no confidence in the Road Safety Authority. This is separate, so I'm not tying them into this, but just curious whilst I have you on, and whilst you have an interest in road safety, what's the mood in the Shannon in relation to them?
Well, I think we all have to sit down here and try and get a plan that works. It's not going to work in every place, Greg. And you know, road safety is a big thing in Donegal. And believe it or not, since I started travelling to Dublin, road safety along the whole way down is a problem. Like, you have people passing you, on double white lines and going into corners, and there needs to be a whole, I think, education bit done for people on driving. Like, everybody's in a hurry now, if you know what I mean. Everybody, I don't think people they're not adhering to the rules of the road. And the rules of the road needs to be put out there more. When you go to do your test, you're told this, that and the other. But if you're 20 years away from it, after doing it, you're inclined to forget. But I think there needs to be a whole new, like the ads that used to be on television before, telling people, like, on a double white line you can't pass, and there needs to be a whole new education on the whole thing.
Thanks very much for your time, Senator Manus Boyle there.
On air, online and on your smart speaker. The Greg Hughes Show on Highland Radio.
Find the deals your day has been asking for this week at Dunnes Stores. Enjoy the perfect start with Weetabix 48-pack, now only €5. Or pick up the perfect snack with Kellogg's Rice Krispies Squares 4-pack range, just €1.49 each. And stay energised with a great deal on Monster Energy 4-pack range, now only €4 each. Plus, save more with your 10 off 50 voucher. Dunnes Stores, always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Vouchers can be used in next grocery shop. DRS applies.
If you have a cough, flu, sore throat, or if you're just feeling miserable, don't suffer through it. At McGee's Chemist, we have the expertise to help you feel better. Our pharmacists and experienced staff will recommend the most effective over-the-counter solutions and give advice on how best to manage your symptoms. At McGee's, we have a wide range of trusted brands and products to help you recover. McGee's Chemist, Main Street, Letterkenny. For healthcare help and advice you can always trust.
Something new is coming from Blue Poppy Dentistry, Implants and Orthodontics. A stunning new practice is taking shape at Letterkenny Shopping Centre. Familiar care in a fresh space. Stay tuned and follow Blue Poppy on social media for updates.
Foy's biggest ever January sale is on now, with massive savings across every department, from stylish giftware and kitchenware to beautiful rugs, curtains and fabrics. Also, great reductions on cushions, wall art, throws, home accessories and clearance furniture. Don't miss out on the big January sale now on at Foy's in Ballybuffet and Letterkenny.
If you're fitting a new kitchen or replacing some tired appliances, now's the time with the Ben Sweeney Euronics Kitchen Bundle. Get a single oven and hob, integrated dishwasher and fridge freezer, wash machine and tumble dryer, all for just €2,000. Other kitchen bundles are available on request. Call us today or visit Ben Sweeney Euronics, Port Road, Letterkenny, in the shopping centre, Dunlow.
Are you playing Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio? There's a €13,000 jackpot up for grabs. Tune in every day, play along, and you could be our next big winner. Get your bingo books now at your local store to play Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
Okay, we're joined on the programme now by 100% Redress County Councillor Thomas Sean Devine. Good morning to you. Thanks for holding, Thomas. Sorry about that.
No problem, Greg. Good morning to yourself and good morning to your listeners.
Right, okay. Democracy, it's a slow process of stumbling to the right decision instead of going straight forward to the wrong one. It's good, though, if we can see it in action. You're calling again for the public to have access to plenary meetings. Why is this important to you? Why are you raising it again?
Greg, it's probably an issue that I should never have to raise. It should have been always there from day one. You know, we have thousands of homeowners out there can't see what's happening on defective concrete block committee meetings in Lifford, which is wrong. You invite people into the chamber. We have 3 seats for people to sit on in the chamber. There's no room there. People have a right, Greg, to see what their elected representatives is doing for them in the council chamber. And this is our call, that these meetings are streamed live for people to go on and see what their representative is doing for them and what's happening, keeping them up to date, what's going on in there, any new progress or anything. They can see it themselves. Not everybody can travel to Lifford, Greg, to watch these meetings, so it's a no-brainer option for the council to live stream these meetings.
I think full council meetings are streamed. Why? What's the difference between a full council meeting and a plenary meeting? Well, actually, before we talk about it, I mean, I know one's streamed and one isn't, but what is a plenary meeting compared to a regular meeting?
Well, the plenary meeting's a full council meeting where all the councillors attend, Greg, every 2 months. They air out their motions and talk about updates and stuff and that and the other.
They're not already streamed.
They are streamed live, yeah. Them's all streamed live. That's what we can't understand. What's the difference? The staff there, the technology, everything's there to live stream these defective concrete blocks. We all know it's a big humanitarian crisis. They had Donegal, thousands affected homeowners, businesses, groups, whatever is affected for us. And they're not streaming live in this meeting, and there seems to be a resistance there to stream these meetings.
Yeah, can I just apologise? I've got things mixed up. I've went to so many blooming plenary meetings. I know exactly what they are. You're using the next plenary meeting, which will be streamed, to call for defective concrete block meetings to be streamed. And are you being told as to why they're not being streamed up until now, the defective concrete block meetings, Thomas?
These meetings, Greg, and the last term of council was streamed live. And that term of council, they stopped. And I know all meetings on the last term of council was all online meetings, with COVID and with everything going through at that stage. And now it stopped in this term of council for some reason we don't know, Greg. And then we've been told it's costs. So a question was from myself and Councillor Joy Beard in recent months, asking the cost of these meetings, and we got back figures that the cost of the meetings that were streamed last year cost €22,500.
Right, well, here's the thing. I'll do it for $6,000.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
But I'm saying, look,
I know, I'm genuine.
Yeah.
I am literally not joking. I do it every single day here on Highland Radio. If you want me to come up and stream the concrete block meetings, I'll do it for $6,000 a year. That'll save you what? That'll save you, and I'm not even a professional. That'll save you $16,000 a year. There's no way it costs to stream stuff that much.
No.
Once you have the infrastructure in place, which would be more than covered by $22,000, and in fact, it does need to be improved because I think the quality of streaming is not fantastic. There is no cost in actually streaming it then, because there's no cost to Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you might send them. So if you want to let them know, I'll do it for $6. In fact, because it's defective concrete blocks meetings, I'll probably do it for free. My point being is there's no excuse.
No, there's not, Craig, and that's been quite honest about it. There is no excuse. You know, these meetings last a couple of hours. Now, in fairness, the last meeting we had last week lasted well into the afternoon. Much that was a very productive meeting and was very the BPFI in it. But as I say, Greg, there's no excuse. These meetings need to be streamed live. I'm asking the councillors to back this motion once and for all on Monday and put an end to this, and let the homeowners watch what's going on in it, and let them get up to date what's going on from the housing agency, whatever updates that comes on them meetings, that the homeowners can see what's happening.
All the executive could say, do you know what? You know, we really should be streaming those meetings. Why have it go to a council meeting, have it debated, have that streamed, make it look like once again that the victims of defective concrete blocks are being further victimised. Why wait to Councillor Thomas Sean Devine raises this in the council chamber and all the flack and all the negative publicity that might come from that? Why not just do what was being done before and stream the blooming meetings? It's not complicated, and the positive publicity would far outweigh the cost, I would argue. Now, I know there are balance sheets, but this is a no-brainer. This is common sense, Thomas. And this motion that you'll bring into the council in good faith, no one does.
Yeah, Greg, we're asked every day of the week why it's not streamed, what are they hiding, why, and you're constantly explaining to people what's going on. And that shouldn't
but
be
this
big.
is a problem with communication. Nothing is being hidden. That's the thing. The decision's not because there's any secrets, and it's not even, unless you're affected, the meetings probably aren't even that interesting. It's got nothing to do with hiding anything, transparency. Someone has made a bookkeeping decision, and it's quite costly for the council in terms of their public reputation. There's no need for it. There's nothing to hide.
No, there's not, Greg, and I hope it passes on Monday, Greg, and it's put to bed once and for all. And as I say, this is the third time this motion is coming on. It's the second time for myself, and it was brought on by Councillor Declan Mahan as well a while back. And as I say, it shouldn't be. It was supposed to be discussed and further talk about it. Never happened, Greg. So the motion has to come forward again. And I would rather be discussing other stuff on Monday, Greg. I didn't have to put a motion in about that. Never should have had been a motion to start off with. But again, it has to be put on. So I'm hoping, Greg, this one is the last, and the next meetings will be live streamed from now on. All
they need to is one 360-degree camera centrally in the middle of that building, decent mics. It's really not complicated to do it very effectively. And as I say, there's no cost to stream it on Facebook or socials anyway, because that is... all right, Thomas, again, I just... It's a shame. It's a shame that the council don't do the right thing on this. They don't need the bad press. There's no need for it. And hopefully common sense will prevail. Look after yourself. Thank you very much indeed for that. Neil Noel was on to say, the main road from Maclay's Corner to Nina Models is in bad need of repair. It seems to be an ongoing thing. Roads in the Finn Valley area. Speaking of attending plenary meetings, I've been here 22 years now, which I really feel quite remarkable, because I actually still feel like a complete and utter blow-in. Would you believe that? And I'm on about in Highland Radio, not in Donegal. I've been here my whole life. For years, it was like, those roads are some of the busiest, and yet they seem to be some of the worst. I wonder, do we divvy up the money right? I know that was debated an awful lot. On the issue of gender, the judge was out of order in dysmorphia case. If you want to be renamed, respect that. However, this they thing is ridiculous. Now, if she went to hospital, she'd have to be treated for the gender she was born, not the one she's reassigned. Or am I wrong, Greg? I'm not really quite sure. I mean, obviously, in terms of being treated, if you identify as a male but you've got a problem with your ovaries, you're going to be treated as a biological female, aren't you? So I'm not really quite sure. Hello, can I get more info on this? Highland Radio has gone off the Alexa app again. Happened a few times this week. Hi, Highland Radio has gone off the Alexa app again. I don't know what's going on. We'll get it looked into. Is it just the Alexa app? By the way, let me put it out to you. If you're listening on your phone, or if you're listening on a Google speaker or an Alexa speaker, or maybe you're listening to the stream on the website, have you had any issues with it over the last wee while? Please let me know. And if you have, are the situation, the problems ongoing? Read transgender use of the bathroom. I'm a nurse. I worked in the United States of America. I worked in Letterkenny Hospital for years and Beaumont Hospital as a nurse. Greg spoke of a transgender case. The judge used the dead name of a student that transitioned from female to male. The psychologist that said the transgender man was biologically a female. Has anyone heard of the Harry Benjamin standards for people transitioning? They had to follow these standards, live as a male or female for 2 years before a doctor would consider gender reassignment surgery. Did the psychologist follow the Harry Benjamin standards? Are they obliged to? I really don't know, to be honest with you. And I don't think that judge would have considered the use of that name as a dead name. I know that's when you use the old name of a transgender person. It's from that perspective, it's one of the worst things that you can do. Right, we're going to talk business with Chris Ashmore, but not before we take a quick break.
Highland Radio.
It's that time of year again. Time for the Highland Radio Birthday Bash. Come celebrate with us at the Mount Errigal Hotel on Tuesday the 24th of March for one massive night of live music and great crack. Music on the night from Mike Denver, Jimmy Buckley, Patrick Feeney, Aoife Neal, myself David James and the Tumblin' Paddies, all together for one unforgettable show. That's the Highland Radio Birthday Bash, Tuesday the 24th of March. Tickets now on sale at highlandradio.com.
Urgent news. Cooney's Home Interiors stock disposal sale must end this Sunday. All their clearance stock has been transferred from the warehouse to the showroom and prices cut for the final time across the store. This is your last chance to grab an unrepeatable furniture bargain. Only at Cooney's, Letterkenny Retail Park. Hurry! Sale ends at 6 on Sunday.
Forward Emphasis International are hiring customer service advisors in both their Mallinhead and Buncrana locations. Enjoy fully funded insurance and financial services qualifications and attractive career paths. Apply today at forwardemphasis.ie via our careers page. Don't miss this opportunity to start your career with us.
My car, my rules. My laughing with friends place, or alone with my thoughts place. My private karaoke room. My mobile wardrobe, my pink fluffy slippers. My car is my me place.
With AXA Car Insurance, you can protect the place where you can truly be yourself. And with accident forgiveness as standard, you won't lose your full no claims discount if you have an accident. Get a quote online or call into your local branch. AXA. Know you can. Policy terms and conditions apply. Accident forgiveness is step back. No claims discount protection for customers with 4 or more years. No claims discount. AXA Insurance Stack is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
The massive January sale is now on at Patterson's Kitchens, the Hall, Lifford. Massive savings on kitchens, beds, sofas, dining sets and giftware with up to 50% off selected mattresses. Hundreds of products in stock and ready for delivery or collection. Open Monday to Saturday 9 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. Get yourself down to Patterson's massive January sale.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenny's. Further reductions now on in the McElhenny's winter sale. Save up to 50% off your favourite designer brands in store or online today at mcelhennys.com.
So, mostly cloudy and misty with outbreaks of rain, turning heavy at times. Highest temperatures of 7 to 9 degrees with light to moderate southeasterly winds, freshening the further east you go this evening. Chris Ashmore of the Highland Radio Business Matters podcast. Good morning to you. How art thou?
I'm very good, Greg.
Good. Let's get to some news. And the question is, are you interested in starting a retail food or drink band? Is this like Chris's Crisps? Or?
Oh, it could be. Yes, indeed. Now, there's a food starter program which is coming up shortly. It's on Zoom, 2nd of February. It begins. That's on Monday, and it's linked in with the Super Value Food Academy. And essentially, this is a program open to what they call pre-startups, or those who are trading for up to 24 months. So maybe you have a food or a drink that you are developing. It's a chance to get in with Super Value. So it could be one for you. €25 is the cost. There's a limited number of places, and you can contact the local enterprise office for more details on that. Now, that ties in with another thing that's also coming up. That's called the Lidl Kickstart Supplier Development Programme. And again, this is a possible pathway into their 234 stores around the country. A number of Donegal businesses have participated in this before, and a representative from Lidl will host an information session. That's again, go on to the local enterprise office for the details on that. So that's two things that if you're in that sector, that could be a good opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. More and more of us across the county are installing solar panels.
Yes, now there's figures just out from the SEAI who grant aid a lot of the panels and various things there to make your homes warmer and to help the whole greening of things. And last year, Greg, 792 households in Donegal installed solar panels. And just when you're out on the road, there seems to be a lot of vehicles out there at the moment. There's a national companies, there's local companies, and there were actually over 800 grants for a home solar awarded in the county, so a little bit of a time lag to getting the grant and then getting it done. Nationally, 33,000 people getting grant aid. How much is a grant? Well, at the moment, you can get a grant of about up to €1,800, and the typical cost for a home is probably in the region of €7,000 or €8,000. So you're out about 6,000.
Green loans as well.
And there's green loans, usually at a preferential rate, and certainly there's an encouragement there.
Right,
And
so if any of you thousand out there that got the solar panels in 2025, I know some of you are listening, what's your experience been like? Is it money well spent? Is it to save money? Is it for hot water? Did you get batteries as well, which can add the cost, but it means that maybe you can use the power generated at times that suit you better. So some of you are a year in, 6 months into having solar panels on your roof. Let us know, 086 60 25,000. What's the experience been like for you? Would you recommend it? Has it been money well spent? Or maybe you just feel that, it isn't necessarily about saving money, but it's about me drawing down less power from the grid, which is often reliant on the burning of gas, etc., unless we start pumping it in from Spain, and then it'll all be solar.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out that if you have a surplus of power, you can feed back into the electricity network. I know somebody who got the panels, and you may recall last May, Greg, was a particularly sunny month. We had great weather, and their electricity bill for the month of May was €6, and this is a 4-bedroom house.
Not bad, of course. Right, now, house prices. There's so many of these indexes come out. Some are asking prices, some are sold prices. The medium, this median thing whereby they give the price of a house in Donegal, and you couldn't get a house in Donegal for that price, but apparently there's some logic to it. But anyway.
Yeah, the latest of these guides, the Sunday Times has released its nationwide property guide. It's predicting that in 2026 we're going to see a 2 to 4% price rise in your typical house in Donegal, which would be below the national average of 5.3, the rise there. Now, interestingly, they have put a top 10 of the most affordable places in the country to get a house.
Leitrim, Donegal.
Yes, 3-bedroom, semi-detached. Mohill in Leitrim came out €175,000. Now, interesting, Letterkenny was in the top 10 there. They're saying that you can still get a 3-bedroom, semi-detached second-hand for €200,000.
No, you can't. No, this is the median thing. That whole baseline has been set up wrong, Chris.
Yeah. Now, I know a house that was a 3-bedroom house in the town here that was sold for exactly €200,000 within the last 2 months. It's a terraced house.
A terrorist house?
A terraced house.
Oh, right. So it had a big balaclava over its roof.
But we have a situation now that you can buy some second-hand properties that would cost you far more if you were to build them from scratch. And there lies one of the issues that there's a shortage of second-hand properties.
Well, if there are, it's a lot of money, right? But if there are 3-bed semis in Letterkenny going for $200,000, then we don't have a housing crisis in this
we don't.
area.
We do have a housing crisis because
Well,
we don't have.
How could we? If you can buy a 3-bed semi for $200,000,
but there isn't enough of them on the market, and
yes, but that should drive the price up. That means that house should be worth $275 because the market should determine that.
Well, the price is going up because if you look back, I know this area quite well, the area that I'm talking about, and I have sort of watched with interest because the prices have gone up constantly. And
it's interesting. And listen, again, I'm probably misreading things. Can we fast forward now to what's on this week's podcast?
Yes, on this week's podcast, I've been speaking to Anna Marie Brosi, who is a coaching psychologist and a well-being specialist. Now, she helps her clients achieve their goals as they strive for success in business and in their personal lives. And on Friday, January the 30th, she'll be speaking at a business and leadership breakfast, which has been hosted by Letterkenny Chamber at the Century Complex here in the town. And the theme is Strategies to Thrive 2026. Now, she deals with a range of clients from the self-employed to big business and can help in areas ranging from burnout prevention to managing stress. And I think we have a clip from the programme where she outlines 4 key factors that can help improve your life.
There are 4 basic things that, us humans need if we are to physically, mentally and emotionally flourish and thrive. And one of them is sleep. We all need a good night's sleep. The body wakes up fresh the next morning and able to face another day. And then the second thing is our food, what we put into our body and our eating habits, because that really impacts the quality of our lives as well. And then we have exercise and movement, because this is so important, not just for our physical body, but for our mental and emotional well-being as well. When we do exercise, and that can be walking or dancing or swimming or anything at all, it just allows our body to shift its physiological state, if you like, and puts us back into our bodies as opposed to into our heads. And then the fourth thing is how we manage stress. What are our healthy coping strategies for managing our daily stress? Because we don't want this stress to build up cumulatively in our bodies or, in our minds, because it just becomes very hard to, I suppose, function well and to feel well.
All right, that podcast will be available for you very shortly in the listen back section on our website, highlandradio.com. It's also available for you on Spotify and iTunes. So go to those platforms and give it a like there if you want to be reminded exactly when a new episode is posted. And it's broadcast on Sunday, Chris.
That's right, Greg, after the 6 o'clock news on Sunday.
Oh, a text has just come in. What if I want to contact Chris about the show?
You can email me is the best way, and the address is businessmatters@highlandradio.com.
I didn't really get that text. We don't make them up on this show. But listen, anyway, thanks very much, Chris. I do appreciate it. Look after yourself. Chris Ashmore will be back. Is it Thursdays now, yeah? We speak to you on Thursdays?
We do, indeed.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Right, I've got some good news for you. Thanks to you, the listeners. We did an appeal earlier on today in relation to Martin Tran, who had been reported missing. It was incredibly out of character for him, but the family knew he had come to Donegal. And just as we were discussing it, a couple of people were listening, and many since, to say that his vehicle had been spotted, and we managed to get people to speak to him to make contact with his partner Anna, because he didn't have his phone with him. And Martin has now contacted his partner Anna and is on his way home. So thank you so very much to those of you listening who spotted the van, who spotted Martin, who got in touch with us. It hadn't been elevated to the Garda Síochána yet, so we were able to put Martin in contact with his partner Anna, and all's well that ends well. Thank you very much indeed to that for that.